It's live. Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Margaret, and welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. In today's video, I'm going to be going through some beginner questions and a lot of questions that I get on different videos, and also that are sent to me, messaged to me, emailed, etc. And so I started going through my comments today and answering questions, and I thought, what a better way than to just go through them together, because there were a lot of things that are easier shown than explained. I am not the best at typing on my phone, texting, or writing comments. Anyway, so I thought, you know what, it'll be easier if I just do it this way and show you guys. And that way other people can learn from it too, in case they missed the comment or the question. And I am live, so if you have questions as we go along, I can answer them either at the end, or if it's something that while we're talking about that, then we'll talk about that as well. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Margaret. I am a homeschool mom who makes money to support me and the kids by selling on eBay and amongst other things. So that's what we do around here. So hello, everybody in the chat. Julie says, hello, first day of school for my teacher daughter. Yay. We've already started school. Okay, so here we go. I am going to flip over, and I didn't pull the questions up. Let me make the chat a little bit bigger over here for y'all to see. But what I'll do is I'll read the questions out and then talk about the questions that I've got. Okay, so first question that I have, and okay, maybe it's just me, but when I read questions, if they're not written, maybe never mind, it's too persnickety. Like sometimes things come across abrupt, and I try hard not to read them rudely. So I'm trying not to read things rudely, but if it comes across that way, my apologies. Okay. So one question I got was from a video I just did about the mugs, and it's from, I think it's L. Scalwell, I'm not sure. And he or she they wrote, don't you differentiate between new and used? I was sharing about the Pocahontas mug. Don't you differentiate between new and used? All the solds you pointed out say brand new. Yours is used. Doesn't that bring the price down? Just thought that might confuse new resellers. And this is something that normally would be considered as far as selling items. And I guess I could have been more clear in the video. The mug that I have is used. There it is. It's used. It's in like new condition. It's really great. But as they pointed out, I can't pronounce the name, sorry. The ones that are up there and the ones that are sold are all used, or new rather, sorry. So here are the ones that are up there now, and then here are the sold. So they all say brand new. And my response was, as you can see, there were 2 that are sold, and there are 3 that are up there. My response was that in this case, I don't think it matters. Of course, we all have different opinions, but my opinion in this particular case is that it doesn't matter, because I know that I'm going to take a really great picture of it. Mine is in like new condition, and I know that I take better pictures than probably all of these. The one in the middle is okay. And I think that 1 or 2 things could happen. 1, my picture will sell it, and I'll still list mine around $25. 2, these 3 will sell, and then mine will be up next. So I'm perfectly comfortable in this particular case listing my item, even though it's like new, in the same price range, because of what I just stated. Now, if there were like a whole bunch of them up there, then of course I would probably list mine for a little bit less than that. But again, I think my picture could sell it. I think that's one of the biggest tips I can give new sellers, and I did this in my 10 mistakes. We'll talk, that video comes up in a minute. 10 mistakes new sellers make is that 2 things to learn, try to learn as quickly as you can. 1 is pictures, getting really good pictures, because that can sell your item. And 2 is shipping, and being able to ship so you don't lose money on that. So that's that question. Hopefully I answered that one well. And Let's see. Okay, the next question has to do with groups. Shiny Things asks, does anyone know about the mug group that Margaret mentioned? And I'm going to be scrolling through the questions, so hopefully that's not super annoying. The mug group I mentioned, and oops, let's close out of that. I got a little thing popped up there. Boom. Okay, mug questions. Mug of the Week is the group that Ginny started, and Ginny Lorette started this group, which is fun. And if you're wanting to learn more about selling mugs, she's got that. She also has another group about selling Christmas stuff, which is awesome. And everything that I mentioned, the groups, the videos, and things that I talk about here, I'm going to link them all in the description box below, because there's a few different videos or groups or items that I'm going to end up talking about as well. And apologies on the lighting. Some of my light bulbs went out, and it's been a busy day. We just finished school a little while ago. So, hey in the chat, just checking to make sure. Did I go back and get that ham mug? I don't think I did. I'll have to go back and look. And Izzy's asking, you used to look for rare jeans. Have I ever found any? I have not. I wouldn't know what to look for. This is one of my areas of non-expertise, clothing and jeans. Okay, next question. And okay, Shiny Things also asks, hi Margaret, I'm just loving these mug videos. Question for you, how would you remove crayon or marker pen marks from a mug? Thinking a magic eraser or Goo Gone, but don't want to mess up the artwork. Okay, so I've never used Goo Gone, but I have used magic eraser. And then another thing that I have used, is called Barkeeper's Friend. And this will get like, if you know when you see inside of a mug, there's like gray marks or scratches. Mine doesn't have any, or else I would show you. This one doesn't have any. But they'll have like gray scratches or stuff inside. I've used Barkeeper's Friend, and I've also been fairly successful with magic eraser. So I haven't had to buy, and the Barkeeper's Friend lasts forever, first of all. But I have been using magic eraser a lot because it's just easy to grab and... Anyway, so magic erasers are these, they look like this. They look like a little sponge. I would suggest making sure that you wash it out really well, because it does have like the chemical-y stuff in there. So either one, you want to wash the cleanser, the cleaner off of it for those. Okay, so that's that. And again, I'll have that all linked in the description, but you could probably find that at your grocery store too. But if you like to order groceries or things, there you go. Okay, Heather says eBay will have a great new app for photos coming soon. Oh, yay. You were at eBay Open and they demonstrated it. I can't wait for that. That's awesome. Hi, Cindy Loves Jewelry. Hello. Okay, next question. Here we go. I am looking. I didn't cut them out and everything because I wanted to quickly come on and talk to you guys. I'm scrolling through. La-di-da-di-da. Okay, so... someone is asking, let's see, I've never found one. Okay, Valerie is asking about the ThreadUp boxes, because I always talk about how I order, some people ask about, where do you find jewelry jars? I never can find them. And I say, well, you can get lots or jewelry jars off of ThreadUp or Shop Goodwill. And so I have, not just Valerie, but other people have said, I can never find them on ThreadUp. Where are they? And so I'm going to show you. Here we go. And if you've never shopped on ThreadUp before, down below I've got a link that's like $10 off your first order. Like you get 10, I get 10 kind of deal. It's one of those fun things. Okay, so when you come to ThreadUp, if this is what you're interested in, if you're interested in that, you're going to go to the section that says Rescues on this tab up here, Rescues. So you see jewelry, accessories, blah, 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 juniors. You're going to select Rescues way over here. Then you're going to scroll down, and then there's this one. This is the one I generally get. There's DIY jewelry. If you select mixed sizes, you can select 5 pounds for $34 or 10 pounds for $60. Woo, those prices have gone up a lot. They also have a mixed jewelry up to 24 pieces for $40. These prices have gone up, I'll just say that. But I usually do the DIY jewelry, because even the mixed jewelry sometimes comes broken, and I'd rather go for poundage. I just do. Anyway, it feels more like a jewelry jar that way. But I mean, the boxes have been fun, but that's just my preference. Anyway, that's where that is. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. I feel like I'm going to do that real fast, because it just feels like, I just think I need to put some light bulbs up there. Okay, let me check the chat and then I'll move on to the next. Okay, moving on. All right. Now, I get a lot of questions like, can you help me with this item? And I always point people to the groups. Whether I get a lot of emails and I get a lot of like personal messages on Facebook, and I want to be able to help you, but it'll be way more efficient for you if you go that route to go to one of the groups and ask, because I'm in the groups, but then there's also like thousands of other people that can help as well. And honestly, it's not a mean thing. It's a busy thing that I don't have time to respond one at a time usually to people, because I homeschool and I have to cook and clean and run this and everything else, right? So I wanted to share those groups with you guys so that you'll know. So I shared with you Jenny's group. If you've got jewelry type questions, I have a group called Texas Gals Jewelry Lovers. If you've got close that. Just other things. I have a Facebook page called Texas Gal Treasures. And then also International League of Thrifters is just like a general thrifting. Look, I need to come in here. There's people waiting to get in. Another just thrifting group if you've got questions there. And then Jason has a really good group too if you're interested. It's called the Thrifting Board. So there's that. Okay. Alrighty. And I always worry that that's going to come off wrong. But it just is true. And I feel bad because I'll get these messages and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to answer this. And I feel bad. And I don't want to say, I'm never going to be able to answer this. I've got to cook dinner now. So anyway. All right, next up. Let's see. What to do. Okay, that's the groups. I'm looking. Okay. I've also been getting a lot of questions about when I talk about my inventory notes. When I create a listing and I have like a template, and it's not a plugin template, it's just something I put into my listings that I use. I put an inventory note in there. And so I've gotten a lot of questions about inventory notes lately. So let me show you what I mean by that. It's not anything that's in eBay. It's something that I put into my listing as I'm typing it in, So let me click on my turtle, see if I've got an inventory note in there. So if you'll come down to the description where you write, like you're describing your item and you're putting in your condition and you're putting in your measurements. Well, under that, I just type out inventory note. And that's where I put my code is not fancy. It's the date that I listed it and then how much I bought it for. Some people might put like, if you have a tub system, you might put like tub B7, right? So that you know where exactly it is in your workroom or your storage where you keep it. So that's another idea. If you don't, most of my stuff is pretty small, so it's not too hard to find. I say that now, but then we'll see. Anyway, so it's that. It's nothing fancy, but that's what I do, and it's helped me a lot. So there's that too. Okay. Pardon me. It's true. There's not enough hours in the day. And I was just looking at the time. I'm like, oh, brother. So just as an aside, since we're live and I'm talking to you, we're joining 4-H. So we have a meeting at 6. And I'm like, oh, gosh, we're making pork chops for dinner, Mom. You got to get down there and make those pork chops. So guess what I'm doing after this? Pork chops. And then 4-H. So off we go. So yeah, there is that too. Julie's pointing out do I use the custom labels SKU in the eBay listing? That's where you put notes. And that is an option. Let me see if I can pull that up to show you what she's talking about. So let me open it up right here. If I go to revise my listing, I'll show you where she's talking about. Right, where is it? I never use it. Here it is. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so title, subtitle, custom label, SKU right here. So if you wanted to and you didn't want your inventory note to be in that spot where everybody in the world could see it, you could put it here. So like if I started having people trolling me and I don't even know what they would, like who cares, right? Like, you listed this 6 months ago. How could you still have it for sale? Or I don't know, whatever. You can put that inventory note here where it's hidden. So thank you for pointing that out, Julie. Yes, it's totally there for you too. So that's cool. And then this custom label is just something you see on the the seller end of things. Nobody sees it on the buyer side. It's all good. Whatever you prefer, right? Okay. Oh wow, it's hot there too. Sue is in the UK. It's still hot. It's crazy hot here. Yeah. Okay, next question. I'm gonna. Oh, this is fun. So on the video, when I say this is fun, this is somebody. I think they're being mean, but I'm not sure. So we'll just pretend like I don't know what they're talking. Anyway, Jane asks on this video. This is a video called 10 Mistakes to Avoid When Selling on eBay. Worst beginner eBay seller mistakes. And I'm sharing my beginner mistakes. And this is one of them. I sold these birds. This is probably my second or third sale ever, a million years ago. And the question was, couldn't you wash the birds? Double question mark, double exclamation point. The answer to that question is yes, I could have. And let me show you those birds again. Here they are. So here's the birds. They are, let me see if I can zoom in on them so you can see it better. There they are. Yeah, they look bad. They're horrible. But the whole point of this video was reseller mistakes. So this is another mistake. Yeah, sure, I could have cleaned them better, but I didn't. And so that was a beginner mistake. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, I could have cleaned them. Okay, and then somebody else is like, I wash all my ceramic glass, no reason not to. Okay, awesome, wonderful. So I made a mistake early on. I'm sure everybody has. Nobody starts at the beginning, and if you do, congratulations for your knowing better all the time. Okay, we'll leave the snark now. Surely no one would be mean, right, Cindy? I don't get it too much. I think it's because I'm going to say a bad word, so if you got littles, I think it's because I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? If people want to be ugly, I just laugh it off. And honest to goodness, when trolls pop in the chat, I'm just like, oh yay, time to play with trolls, because it's just nonsense. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, they could have been cleaned, but I was a beginner, and we make mistakes. So, moving on, where was I now? Let's see. I'm trying, you know what, it would be helpful if I just looked at the next thing. Okay, it has to do with shipping. So, my next questions have got to do with shipping mugs, and I do need to make an update as far as my mug shipping, but I do it basically the same way. But I have an older video here from, 2016? Where'd it go? Yeah, 2016. But it's basically the same. And it says how I ship mugs, my process for shipping mugs. And I think I listed this down below. So one of the questions was about shipping the mugs in a box and putting them in the padded flat rate like that. I have always done this, and then so my 6x4x4 box will go into the padded flat rate, and then I tape it down just to make it look nice, and so the edges don't get caught on whatever they could possibly get caught on in the post office behind the scenes. So one of the questions was, oh, your post office doesn't mind you doing that to the envelope and making it like that. I have never had a problem with it, ever, not once. But I do need to update, because my larger mugs, this mug is a little bit bigger. I don't think it's going to work. So I need to update this video and share how I'm going to ship my older mugs. My older mugs? I'm reading the chat and talking at the same time. My bigger mugs. Sorry. Let's see. Sometimes you only have a second to take a picture and then list it. Yeah. Yeah, you can clean it and update your pictures totally. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to come back to the chat because I'm totally distracted now and I don't remember where I was. Okay, so I'm looking through the chat real fast. I'm not the chat, but the questions. Maybe I should have grabbed them. Okay, question. What's the best magnet to purchase when testing metal versus gold or silver? I went online, but I wasn't able to decide. Okay, so I'll share with you magnets. So, technically, the best magnet to get for jewelry type stuff is this I'm going to say it wrong and somebody's going to correct me. And you can phonetically spell it out, but neodymium pocket, this type, we'll just call it a neo magnet, okay? Just think matrix. So the neo magnet is definitely the best type to probably get for jewelry. However, I mean, they're pricey. This is the magnet I have in my workroom. This telescoping. Come on, Mom. This one is the one I have, and it works fine. So here's the Neo one. And then this is the one I've got in my workroom. It's not a pocket magnet. This mine that telescopes, it's nice and fun because it's, I don't know, it's fun to play with. And it works well for my needs. So that's what I use. And I have that linked below. So there's that. Okay. And then, oh my gosh. I'm not going there today in the chat. All right, so then, oh, I forgot to grab that. Okay, so on my jewelry video, I was doing a video where I talk about shipping my jewelry, and two of the ways I do it, I put it in a little pouch and then put it in a bubble mailer and wrap a card around it, and that kind of pads it. And then I have a little box that I will put in a 6x4x4. And a lot of the questions I got were, why didn't you put the box into a bubble mailer? And then wouldn't it be lighter to put it in the bubble mailer? And well, firstly, which of course I didn't bring over here to share, the bubble mailers I use, the ones that I use for my smaller pieces of jewelry, the box, if I try to cram it in there, it's going to get smushed, you know, and then it's going to look bad. The presentation's going to be yuck. And I have bigger bubble mailers, but then the little box is going to be like floating around in this bubble mailer. I have to wrap it and tape it and all that stuff. And then when I put it in the box, it is, you know, a little bit, it's probably an ounce heavier. So instead of being 3 ounces, or, I mean, because if you look at the way shipping is for first class mail, the first 3 ounces, it's the same price. After that, 4 or 5, the price goes up, you know, minusculely at that point within the first class mail classification. So if it goes from being 2 ounces, if it was in a bubble mailer, to being 4 ounces in the box, then I might be adding a nickel to my shipping. And usually my shipping is already, they've paid a little bit more than what that's going to be anyway. They pay about $3 for first class for me. So it's not that big of a difference. So that's why. And then it looks better. So there. Okay, so that's that about the box. And I planned on having it, but it's over there, and I'm wearing a, anyway, when I don't want to feel like getting up, and Dan's already talking about big mugs, and I don't want to go there. So, see? So there. Okay, moving on. Then the next question, let's see, that's my shop. I'm looking, because I had brought all these things up so I could make sure I had them up for you. Is Etsy better to sell on than eBay in your opinion? John is asking. My wife and I have her parents' estate items. I thought about opening an eBay store. Yeah, so basically I list on both if I'm able to, because especially in the fourth quarter, I every year my Etsy sales go up. And I think it's because people are there looking for unique items as gifts. And the rest of the year, mostly eBay does pretty well. So, I mean, to me, it doesn't take that much longer to cross-post the items. Sorry, my nose is itching all of a sudden. And so that's just what I do. But probably, depending on what the item is eBay. And then if you have time, I'd put it on Etsy as well. So. Oh, good. Okay, so let's see. Did I even pop that over? I don't know that I did. Okay, next question. Okay, we talked about the inventory. Now, do I ever give free shipping? Sandy asked. I don't. I don't do free shipping because, especially as a beginning, when I first started reselling, and there was this was back, there were a lot of people like going on, I don't want to say going on, that sounds negative, but there was a lot of debate at the time about free shipping and charging shipping, and so many people were going to free shipping. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And so every other video you saw about with YouTubers where they were talking about they're going to free shipping and it's going to improve their sales, and I tried it. And the problem is I do best offer, and the buyer doesn't get that free shipping doesn't mean that you're not paying for shipping. So when they send an offer, this is before you could cut the offer off for lower or higher or whatever. They didn't have that back then. So you were getting all of these lowball offers, $4 for this item. Like, well, I still have to ship it, right? So No. It became too much of a hassle because as I'm trying to figure out if it's a good offer, then I'm having to think, oh wait, how much is it going to ship for? And I need to calculate that into the price. It just became too much. So I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. I mean, now it might be different because there's that don't accept anything less than this or more than, decline everything that's below this. It might be easier because of that, but no. I need things, I mean, as I've said many times, I need things as easy and streamlined as possible because the way my life is, you know, this is not for a pity party, but I mean, the minute I wake up, your moms, most of you probably, or dads, the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, for me anyway, it's work, not work, but I mean, I'm on, right? I'm on, I gotta get up, take care of the kids, get their breakfast, get school started, lunch, finish up school stuff, then I have like an hour, we get a few things done, then it's time for me I have my chunk of time to get work done, then it's time for supper, and then whatever activities we have in the evening, and then we come home, and then it's like bed, and then do it over. Sometimes I stay up till midnight to list. That's my life. So, sounds fun, right? But, so, I don't have time to be like, oh, what's it going to be if no. I needed to just be like, put it up there, go with it. So, anyway. Okay. Excuse me. I'm looking back through my questions again. And Evangelina asks, hi, love your channel, new to reselling. On average, how long does it take for your items that you post to sell? And this is a good question because there are different types of resellers out there. And the resellers, some of them they're looking for that fast nickel where they want that quick turnover. They want to put stuff up and have it sell really quickly. And then there are people that want the slow dime where they're willing to wait a little bit longer to get more money for their items. So I kind of have a combination of both. So I have items that have been up probably for years. And then I have items that will sell almost as quickly as I list them. Sometimes I'm listing the next item and the one I just listed sells. So it's a combination. It just kind of depends on if it's a highly sought after item. I mean, there was a wallet that I sold recently, this Anne Klein wallet. I mean, it sold almost immediately. So it just kind of depends. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so in the chat, I'm going to go to that one real fast. Sue's Pile of Shame, she asks, do you think I should clean 925 jewelry that's quite tarnished or sell it as is? I guess it would depend. I'm going to take a sip, sorry. On how tarnished. Like personally, if it's just a little bit tarnished, put a picture in the jewelry group so we can all like vote yes or no, right? Because we love to do that and see jewelry, right? So for me, it's just if it's black and it's like distracting from the piece and how cool it is, then I would just kind of clean it up a little bit. But I don't usually shine my pieces unless it's a James Avery piece. That's the only thing I would probably just shine up because most people like their James Avery stuff pretty shiny. But for the most part, yeah. Oh, Cindy says, when my guys were little, I stayed up till 2 or 3 a.m. just to have quiet time for myself. Amen to that. And they don't want me to leave. My kids are still like, we read at bedtime and they want me to stay and hang out so they fall asleep. And I don't know. I'm a sucker. I give them back rubs. I have lotion. We're playing rain music or whatever. Meditation music, just calming stuff. I don't know. Anyway, that's what we do. I guess I indulge my kids too much. So, Dawn says, if an item sells quickly, I always worry that I underpriced the item. This is true. I think that too. However, I also think, you know what? I got what I wanted. It's good. They got what they wanted. I mean, it was that Boy Scout pocket watch. I saw a lot that were up there for a lot, but mine was in really rough shape. So I can't remember what I put it at, $40, $45. And there were some up there for $100, but mine, I couldn't even get one of the knives out. It was that bad. So I worried, and it sold within less than 24 hours. So then I thought, you know what? It's cool. The person that got it's probably going to fix it up and they're happy, even if they flip it. Because I think the person that bought it did sell knives. So it worked out. It was fine. I was happy. They were happy, I hope. So here we go. Carol asks if I can do something about the new program on eBay called Manage Payments. I don't know anything about that, so I'm going to have to find out more about that. And let's see. I hate that I'm not talking dead air, right? More stuff about the shipping. Shipping. Yes, I hope I answered that. Okay, maybe if I look at my chat, okay. The next question had to do with, so you can add a video into an eBay listing, and the answer on that is yes. So a while back, eBay took off the ability, if you had active content in your listing, they wanted all of that gone. And one of the things was like this bottom video where it's like purple and yellow where it says how to embed. That's the old way of doing it. So that one is gone. You can see it says 4 years ago. But because that would create in the listing, the video would start playing. But the last two, how to add a video to an eBay listing, that one, it opens the video up into a new window. So it's okay to do. So I share how to do that. Like here's a listing that I did that with. And then, maybe that's why I have this here. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, here's one that I have a video in this listing. So as you can see, when you scroll down, there's a video here, but it won't play in eBay. So when I click it, it'll open a new tab, and then they can come over here and watch it. I won't subject you to that. But that's how it works. So there's that. Then that was that as well. Oh, okay. The next question I got had to do with when I take pictures. I've lost where I was I should have just cut and pasted my questions. When I take pictures of my items, I use a measuring tape, which seems, like a no-brainer if you're going to measure your items. But the type of measuring tape I use, I try not to use ones that's like a fabric one that's movable or that might actually stretch out at some point. So I make sure that I use the metal ones that are hard. And then so this is like this isn't the exact one I have, but it's like this. That's got the metal measuring tape. So you're not going to stretch it out. And when I'm trying to measure how tall something is, I can just pull it out and let it stand and it'll hold it in place. Let me show you. Say on this item, I used it for measuring. I know I did. Hang on. There, see? So when I'm standing it upright, it's not like flopping all over the place and being annoying, and I'm like, hold still. No, it stays put, and it saves me a bunch of headache from having to try to use two hands and take a picture and measure. So yeah, that's the kind I use that looks like that. And hang on, let me get back to that so you can see. And the one I have isn't the Stanley one. Where is it? But this was like the cheapest one I saw on there. It was like $5. Anyway, you probably have one at home or in your garage or something like that. But the fabric ones that are malleable, I'm trying to think of a less word. Grammar. They can stretch out, and they're really kind of annoying when I'm trying to measure stuff. Okay. Oh, brother. Okay. Good job with words today. Okay, so the next... All right, so there was that one. That was about the videos. Can I illustrate from my phone? You can. I don't, because I'm not good with this. Okay. What kind of measuring tape? Okay, we're catching up. Good. eBay is going to do something with their photos. That's what we've heard. Could you do a video on how you photograph? So yes. Okay, that was what the question was. Could you do a video on how you photograph your items? Okay, yes. I have got a bunch of videos on that. So, okay. So this one is called Photo. There's one that I talk about using Photo Fuse. So that's how I got these green cufflinks to look like that gray color. A lot of times you take in the light's not great. And so I show how to do it with Photo Fuse. And then here, about 9 months ago, I made this one, how to take jewelry photos, but basically it works for the same for everything else. how I take my jewelry photos. And then here's another one, photos for eBay. And I use my phone. I use my iPhone. I don't use a fancy camera. I have a fancy camera, but I use it more for video than anything else. So, yeah. And technically, I could list from my phone, but I am so bad at listing from my phone. And, yeah, so there's that. Okay, next. Cindy Villa asked, how do you find solds on eBay? So here's what we do. Let me go back to Pocahontas over here. So here I've got Pocahontas mug. You guys see the edge of that? Good. So when you're looking at things and you've searched for the mug, and these are the ones that's showing, you'll see here 3 results. This will tell you in this little area, sorry you can't see my arrow. I'm going to flicker over this. So in this area where you see 3 results and save the search, you'll see if it's a sold or any of the categories along the side that you've selected. So if you scroll down, you can narrow things by sold items. And then look right here, you can see it shows sold items. So now you can see the things that have sold. Now these are matching exactly, and then there'll be something like this that says results matching with fewer words. And then it may or may not be there. So there's that. Okay. I am going to go back to the chat in just a second. Let me see if there were any other. Okay, we talked about free shipping. I talked about packing mugs. Someone asked me how much it would cost to ship a mug from the West Coast to the East Coast. That's something you will have to look up with USPS. There's something to be said for figuring things out on your own a little bit. You know, I get there are things that people need help with, but sometimes I can Google it just as easily as you. And I know that sounded mean, but it's true. Okay. So let me look in the chat real fast. And, okay. I'm going to see it because I know I missed some questions. Custom labels, we talked about that. I hear thumps. The kids are coming. This is their video game time. Their video game time must be over. They're really good at monitoring that, setting Alexa to give them their time. Are you coming for me? No. Go clean your room. Okay, so they want more video game time. No. Cindy says, I've used other backgrounds on eBay, but I have no clue how that affects being found. Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean like people that do fun stuff in their background? I don't know. Maybe y'all were probably talking to each other and had nothing to do with me, so. My question is, can you make enough as you would working part-time? You could, Allie. Allie Catalog asked, can you make as much doing this as you would working part-time? The answer is yes, and it is work. I mean, luckily I do sell on eBay and Etsy, but I took, I started doing merch by Amazon, Printful and Etsy, and so there's a few other ways that I make money. So when things are slow with eBay and Etsy, as they are right now, my merch by Amazon and my Printful, those sales help supplement. So when I'm creating my budget for the family and for our bills and stuff like that, I go by the lowest amount that I make every month. And so if I make more than that, I have a separate little savings account that I drop all the extra in. I know this sounds really tedious. Maybe I should talk about my budget one day. But I do my budget by 2 weeks. And so every 2 weeks, I have a certain set amount of money for the bills, we have so much we give us for like outings if we want to go out to eat, or anyway. So I have set, like, eBay might bring in the lowest month I've probably had lately is $400 or $500 because sometimes it's really slow, and so I put that lowest amount, and then Etsy, the lowest, like $50, and then I do make some money from YouTube, and then merch, like my merch and my Printful, I don't even put on there at all. Or I might put the merch one on there. It might be like the lowest $200 or $300, and so I do that. And that way, if it's more than that, then everything else, like I said, I just put it into this little savings account. So if anything pops up, I've got a little bit, it doesn't have like thousands of dollars hanging out in there because things pop up and you're like, oh, I got to take the cat to the vet. Oh, I got to, so I've got a little space to pull from. So the rest of my budget is set based on the lowest common denominator. And I know that's not the right reference, but I think you get what I'm saying. And when I first started reselling, my goal was to make $200 a week. And I did it pretty easily, but I spent way more time. My kids were in public school. Hi, Pancake. You coming to hang out? My kids were in public school at the time when I first started, so I was able to list like 20 items a day. Say hi to Pancake. And now I don't. If I get five to 10 items listed, honestly, if I get 5 items listed a day, I'm doing great. So that's that. We're about to get cat hair everywhere. Pancake, I just put on lotion. Just give me a second. He's biting my elbow. All right, fine. Come here. You get to sit up here then. Okay. All right, next. All right, Bob is a good. Bob is a good gold and silver. Pancake is. Cat here. Do you have cats? Okay, moving on. Hi, Joni. Okay, so yeah, Etsy is slow compared to eBay, and Dawn says, I'm looking here. Okay, Dawn says, I do free shipping on orders over 100 pounds or $100, and that's a good way to do it as well. And I have done that on a few of my higher ticket items, so that's good. Hang on, the chat just jumped, and I don't want to miss anything because you guys came to hang out live. And if you're watching later, thank you so much for coming to hang out. If you've got questions, then leave a question because I'll come back to them later. So, let's see. Yeah. Kimberly says, my Charles Manson book sold within 2 hours while I was sleeping. Creepy. Okay, I'm looking. Just ordered. Sorry, I hate that I stopped talking, but I have to. I hear knocking. Are you knocking on my door or someone else's door? Oh, okay. Okay, Van Helden is asking, I'm a new seller. Should I sell an 18-karat brooch on eBay? You could. I would make sure that you do everything to protect yourself. Make sure that you've got really good pictures. Make sure that you've got pictures of the mark. Make sure if you hopefully have either a gold testing kit or have taken it to somebody who tested it to prove that it is 18K. Because, it stinks but sometimes higher ticket items or things like that can be like a target for people that want to rip other people off. And if you've got mistakes in your listing or errors in your photos, then that's like an in for people to say, oh, it's really not what it is. Give me my money back or whatever, And that stinks, but they're out there. We all know it, right? And Julie says, I recently retired to care for my mom. I'm selling on eBay part-time and doing well. Yeah. And this was great too. I don't know if you guys remember, I guess it's been a couple years ago. My mom had we thought they were strokes, but they ended up being something else. And she needed a lot of help at the time. It was probably a good year where she couldn't really do a lot of driving. And so it was nice and my kids were still in school at the time. So it worked out that I was able to help her and still run my business. I call it my business anyway, but still make money, And that's why with the house we bought here, we bought it on purpose because it has a mother-in-law bedroom downstairs. So if anything like that happens again, we've got a place over here for her to be downstairs. Oh, thank you, Sue, for that super chat. She wrote, thanks for your videos, Margaret. They're always entertaining and informative. I appreciate that. And that will come in handy. I promise. Okay, so John asks, how do you deal with the good till sold fees recurring every month? I guess I'll have to look at that because I have depends on, is that the one where it depends on the shop level you've got? Because you get more listings based on the number of, I just need to make sure I'm understanding the question. A while back, I closed my eBay store, and then I didn't have as many items up. I closed it. We were moving. We were just moved here. Everything in the world was happening. It was crazy. So I closed my eBay store, but then when I reopened it, I didn't get the same level store, and I started noticing my fees were a lot higher because of my insertion fees for items. But then if you get a higher level store, then that automatically, covers part of it, and it ends up being cheaper. Not a lot cheaper, but it's cheaper. So I think that's what you're asking about. Belinda says, do you use a Dymo printer, regular inkjet laser printer? I have it's a Brother printer, and then I print, this is on paper because it's accident, and then I print on the labels and peel them off. I had a Dymo when I was doing Amazon, but I don't anymore, and I could never figure that out as far as printing eBay. Technology, right? So, okay, next. Remember that some of the income has to be reinvested in new stocks and supplies. Yeah, and definitely set money aside for taxes. Those taxes have to be paid, and I'm working on that right now. So, how do you decide on an eBay store or just sell, Carrie says? Well, I would say, I'd have to pull that up, but depending on the size of the eBay store, you get so many listings. They say free a month, but you're paying, for the store level. But you get a discount as far as the final value fee and all of those kind of things, and then the relisting. So it just kind of depends on how many items you have up, because every month, those things that are relisting, there's another 5 or 10 cents or whatever it was. So when I saw that on one of my last bills a few months ago, I was like, okay, it's time for me to up my store, because for me, it's stressful to see that. Maybe I'm just a baby about it, but I don't like seeing this big long page of insertion fees. It freaks me out. So when I have that store level, I don't see that. It's just store level, blah, whatever it is, $40, $50. And then you get, you do get shipping supplies. I've got tons. Depending on your store level, you get more for the shipping supplies. And it offsets it a little bit. It's, so there's that. I'd have to pull that up to help talk you through how to decide it, because I don't have it memorized. Get a good accountant if eBay is your main business, Heather says. I do, and I have a CPA that helps us with our taxes and stuff, and I use GoDaddy. I'm not a CPA at all, so I have GoDaddy, and it syncs with my PayPal, it syncs with my bank account, so I can tag what different expenses are, and then I just print off a sheet, I take it to her, and then say, here, there's that. But then with Merch by Amazon, there's very little overhead other than any kind of subscriptions I have for graphic sites or, creating shirts and things like that on those sites. And if you have a store, you can go on vacation mode. This is true, Heather says. Dawn says, I get sent promo offers with eBay, although I don't have a store. Yeah, I don't think once you get I don't remember getting very many promo offers while I have a store. I think they're trying to get you to list more. They know what they're up to. I don't know. Anyway, okay, that is my Q&A for today. And I never even looked to see how many friends we have watching. Oops. Here we go. There we go. 72 friends. Go over there and hit that thumbs up. And if you're new, I would love to have you subscribe. I make lots of videos about how to sell online and different things to look for and all kinds of stuff. So, and I'd love to have you join us over here. When I say us, it sounds really creepy. But yeah, so thank you again for watching, and thanks everybody who came to hang out and talk in the chat. And I will see you guys on the next one. It's time to go make pork chops. And I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.